PSG 2, Arsenal 1. We lose to PSG 3-1 on aggregate, and we are out of the Champions League. And if I'm being real, a lot of people have said this, and it's time for Mikel Arteta to go. And that one was that was a tough one to take yesterday because on one hand I thought we would go out anyway because I said we lose 2-0, I believe, in my score prediction, and hopefully I was wrong. However, when we saw that first 10 minutes, when we should have been about 3 goals up, and then what happened. But yeah, it's gone now. Whatever you can do around here, like, sub, share, do whatever you got to do. I think we're close to about 210 subs now, so let's get that going as quick as possible. Now, I'll start off with the team lineup. Obviously, the one that we were pointing towards the most is Thomas Partey being back, and if I'm being real, we did miss him in terms of progressing the ball. However, defensively, we were all over the place. Thomas Partey was dreadful. For the first goal, he's the one who cleared it out, cleared the header. Yes, it wasn't really his mistake, and then that led to the Fabian Ruiz goal. Defending for all the goals, or for both goals even, was all over the place. You had, I think it came with Saliba, a deflection for the Fabian Ruiz goal, and this happened in a Crystal Palace game. No one was marking Eze, and then this happens again. No one's marking Fabian Ruiz on the edge of the box. Beautiful goal, by the way. Don't take nothing away from him. That was a proper goal. I think that was his first Champions League goal as well. But yeah, they go 1-0 up on the night, and then it's a mountain to climb because you're thinking, right, we've got to weather a little storm. Let's try to put some pressure on now. However, up until the Saka sitter or the Saka goal even, we did not test on the Donnarumma one bit, and that was, I think that was a half an hour in the Fabian Ruiz goal. The chances that we missed, Declan Rice should have scored. Gabriel Martinelli should have, if he had a cleaner contact on that, that would have been a goal. And then Odegaard, to be fair, that was a very good shot from Odegaard, and that was a good save from Donnarumma. When they showed the back angle for that goal, that you could tell that was a proper save from the Italian. However, we didn't test him at all after that. God knows why, because we were doing so well in that first 10 minutes, and in my head I was thinking, right, I saw this against Bayern Munich last season. We started that first half really well. Or the first half was really well. We were just containing them, and then the second half you think, right, just get a goal, and we're back in this tie. That's what I was thinking here. But however, we were giving our chances way too easily. Kvaratskhelia ended up hitting the post. Miles Lewis, I think that was Miles Lewis Skelly, who gave the ball away for the chance for Barcola. Who, I think, to be fair, if Barcola and Doué weren't, if their decision making was a bit better, they would have definitely scored more goals, because I think Kvaratskhelia was the only one in that front line that started that was actually effective. I think Doué didn't really have a good game, to be fair, and Barcola, like I said, decision making wasn't that great, and that Declan Rice tackle to stop that goal from happening, that was a proper tackle from Rice. I think he ran pretty much the full length of the pitch to even get there. But even with that tackle, Declan Rice was not good at all. It was his stupid free kick that led to the set piece where Ruiz got his goal, so he has to take blame for that. And he did not have to make that tackle at all in that situation. And then yeah, we get to the second half, and like I said, didn't test on the rim one bit. Saka got his goal. To be fair, I think Saka was the only one that was actually trying. Although he weren't great, there were some times where Nuno Mendes was getting the proper beating of him, and so was Lucas when he came on. However, he did put some good balls in, had a very good shot, another good save by Donnarumma later on. But that chance that fell to him from the cross from Calafiori, I don't know how he doesn't bag that. I mean, I looked at a couple of angles to see if the keeper put him off, and yeah, the keeper did put him off in a way. However, he should be bagging that. He should be bagging that goal, and if that goal goes in, there was about 15 minutes to go at that point. Anything could have happened. We would have been 3-2 down the aggregate, but then you never know. But I think you could tell from that point, yeah, we're not scoring, and then And then yeah, then we go out of the Champions League. Few players that we got a touch on as well. William Saliba, shocking all game. Miles Lewis-Skelly, that is probably the worst I've seen him play. And look, I like Miles Lewis-Skelly. However, you could tell he did not want it tonight at all. Um, Barcola was getting the proper Barcola and Doué. I think there was at some point they switched sides. I can't remember when it was. It was I think during the first half. They were getting the better of him completely, and when he got subbed off, and to be fair, he was having a nightmare of a game. But however, when he got subbed off, when he gave away the handball, which to be fair, at first I didn't really notice it, but it did look like he had touches. It caught his hand slightly. I'm not sure why his arm was up here, but yeah, he shouldn't have gave away that penalty. And to be fair, that penalty was crap anyway. So and again, another point where we could have capitalised on that missed penalty, which we didn't. And yeah, he comes off for Calafiori, which at that time I was like, oh no, Calafiori can't defend either. So that would have been a long night. However, to be fair, Calafiori was getting rattled by Dembele as well. So yeah, it's not a good night at all. And then also the attack, Mikel Merino, in my opinion, I think started off well, and then anonymous. Erdegaard started off well, anonymous. So like I said, Saka was probably the only threat the whole game, and then Gabriel Martinelli did absolutely nothing at all. To be fair, a lot of people were getting annoyed about the long throw-ins. However, my thing was that if you were going to do it, um, and to be fair, it was working. I didn't really mind it. However, it got to a point where PSG found out how to deal with them. They were only effective really in the first couple tries, and I think one of them came from I think a long throw in resulted in Gabriel Martinelli's chance in the first couple of minutes, and that's about it when in terms of it being effective. But yeah, apart from that, the other subs, who else came on? Ben White came on for fuck knows what reason, even though we're chasing 2 goals, and then obviously Calafiori came on. Who came on actually? Because I can't. I think at that point I probably zoned out the game. PSG Arsenal. So who else came on? Someone else came on. Trossard came on. And to be fair, Trossard actually done alright. Fair play to him. But for some reason, we kept Zinchenko on the bench when Erdegaard was stinking up the gaff. We kept Jorginho on the bench when Partey was stinking up the gaff. Raheem Sterling, yeah, we don't rate him. However, that's Arteta's guy. And the one that kind of sort of pissed me off the most was Ethan Waneri, staying on the pitch. When you need a goal, he's the one person that will go against what the manager says, and that's probably why he didn't come on. And he's the type of guy who will pick up the ball and drive with it. He doesn't want to, do passing the whole time. He wants to get on the ball, but we know this manager doesn't like it. And after this game, it's the manager's time to go. I've known this for probably my whole time doing YouTube that Arteta is not the main guy, and I think this is what the first goal since the Villarreal first leg that we scored in the semi-final, and we've had semi-finals against Newcastle, Liverpool, and then this one. So 6 games in a semi-final, we've only scored 1 goal. And what I'm hearing is that we were unlucky tonight. We were so unlucky when we missed chances. If we had a striker, we would have won this game. While that's all good, however, Arteta won't sign a striker. It's so clear. Like, he's had how many transfer windows? About probably close to 10 transfer windows, and when you can tell when the manager wants a certain profile of player. This guy's played. He played Jesus up front. He wanted to drop deep. Mikel Merino up front, drop deep. Kai Havertz up front wants to drop deep. He even made Lacazette drop deep at points, and even at points when Aubameyang was up front, he made him drop deep. And even in that Villarreal semi-final, I'm pretty sure he played Pepe or Smith Rowe in the false 9, which didn't work that night. So it's clear to see this guy does not want an out-and-out goal scorer like a Victor Gyökeres, like an Alexander Isak. Hence why we've never got any of them, and we probably won't get any of them either. This guy wants to overload the midfield, hence why he inverts the fullbacks, and he wants to not lose the game rather than go to win the game. In that first season, when we bottled the 8-point lead, we were winning games. We were going into games to win games, not to preserve a point. And now this guy's pragmatism has gotten worse and worse and worse as the season's got on. And the worst thing is as well, he's going to get this summer, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing, because if Berta's in the job now, hopefully he has the power to bring in who he feels like should be coming into the club, and it should be a thing where it's Arteta, you got these players now, you got to get the best out of what I've given you, or else you're being sacked. Which, to be fair, I think it will go like that, and I think even when he's seen his press conferences, when I read back at the transcript notes, he barely mentions Berta at all, and when he does, it's stuff that when it comes to contract situations, I'll let Berta deal with it. Renewing Saka's contract, I'll let Berta deal with it. It's getting to that point now where you can tell he's close to the end, and hopefully he is, because this guy, as much as the good that he's done in terms of steadying the ship, getting us in a competitive state apart from this season, because we weren't ever competing for that title, let's be real. He's done what he can. He's literally our version of Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool, in terms of getting us to that point, and then we need someone to take us to the promised land, like how Liverpool had Jurgen Klopp, winning all those titles. But yeah, I think that's about it for the video. I've rambled on a lot, but yeah, it's just disappointing, and it's a thing where I expected this to happen, but in the manner that it did, it's unacceptable. People, like, sub, and share the content around. Hopefully you enjoy the video. If you agree with me, drop it in the comment section below. If you disagree, also do the same. And yeah, we're close to 210 subs now, so let's get that going as quick as possible. And I'll see you a lot in a bit, probably for the Liverpool preview, which I'll be dropping Saturday. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled out for that in a bit.